Hey guys, it's me again. Sorry I had to end the next chapter so quick, but I'm going to read the next chapter now. It's called Wake Me Up When September Ends. I'm going to start from the beginning of the chapter since we might forget where we were. Oh, look, someone wants to come say hello. This is Miss Miller's cat. Say hi, Delilah. All right, she's going to join us too. Just going to sit on my lap. The rest of September was hard. I wasn't used to getting up so early in the morning. I wasn't used to this whole notion of homework. And I got my first quiz at the end of the month. I never got quizzes when Mom homeschooled me. I also didn't like how I had no free time anymore. Before, I was able to play whenever I wanted. But now, it felt like I always had stuff to do for school. And beginning at school was awful in the beginning. Every new class I had was like a new chance for kids to not stare at me. They would sneak peeks at me from behind their notebooks or when they thought I wasn't looking. They would take the longest way around me to avoid bumping into me in any way, like I had some germ they could catch, like my face was contagious. In the hallways, which were always crowded, my face would always surprise some unsuspecting kid who hadn't heard about me. The kid would make the sound you make when you hold your breath before going underwater. A little sound. This happened maybe 4 or 5 times a day for the first few weeks. On the stairs, in front of the lockers in the library. 500 kids in a school. Eventually, every one of them was going to see my face at some time. And I knew after the first couple of days that would have gotten around. That word had gotten around about me, because every once in a while, I'd catch a kid elbowing his friend as they passed me, or talking behind their hands as I walked by them. I can only imagine what they were saying about me. Actually, I prefer not to even try to imagine it. I'm not saying they were doing any of these things in a mean way, by the way. Not once did any kid laugh or make noise or do anything like that. They were just being normal, dumb kids. I know that. I kind of wanted to tell them that. Like, it's okay. I know I'm weird looking. Take a look. I don't bite. Hey, the truth is, if a Wookiee started going to the school all of a sudden, I'd be curious. I'd probably stare. And if I was walking with Jack or Summer, I'd probably whisper to them, "Hey, there's that Wookiee." And if the Wookiee caught me saying that, he'd know I wasn't trying to be mean. I was just pointing out the fact that he's a Wookiee. It took about 1 week for the kids in my class to get used to my face. These were the kids I'd see every day in all my classes. It took about 2 weeks for the rest of the kids in my grade to get used to my face. They were the kids I'd see in the cafeteria, yard time, PE, music, library, computer class. It took about a month for the rest of the kids in the entire school to get used to it. These were the kids in all the other grades. They were the big kids, some of them. Some of them had crazy haircuts. Some of them had earrings in their noses. Some of them had pimples. None of them looked like me. Our next chapter is called Jack Will. Do you remember his friend Jack Will? Okay, let's find out what this is about. I hung out with Jack in homeroom, English, history, computer, music, and science, which were all the classes we had together. The teachers assigned seats in every class. And I ended up sitting next to Jack in every single class. So I figured either the teachers were told to put me and Jack together, or it was a totally incredible coincidence. I walked to class with Jack too. I know he noticed kids staring at me, but he pretended not to notice. One time, though, on our way to history, this huge 8th grader who was zooming down the stairs 2 steps at a time accidentally bumped into us at the bottom of the stairs and knocked me down. As the guy helped me stand up, he got a look at my face, and without even meaning to, he just said, "Whoa!" Then he patted me on the shoulder like he was dusting me off and took off after his friends. For some reason, me and Jack started cracking up. "That guy made the funniest face," said Jack as we sat down at our desks. "I know, right?" he said. He was like, "Whoa." I swear, I think he wet his pants. We were laughing so hard that the teacher, Mr. Roach, had to ask us to settle down. Later, after we finished reading about how ancient Sumerians built sundials, Jack whispered, "Do you ever want to beat those kids up?" I shrugged. "I guess. I don't know." "I'd want to. I think you should get a secret squirt gun. or something and attach it to your eyes somehow. And every time someone stares at you, you squirt them in the face. With green slime or something, I answered. No, with slug juice mixed with dog pee. Yeah, I said, completely agreeing. Guys, said Mr. Roach from across the room, people are still reading. We nodded and looked down at our books. Then Jack whispered, Are you always going to look this way, August? I mean, can't you get plastic surgery or something? I smiled and pointed to my face. Hello, this is after plastic surgery. Jack clapped his hand over his forehead and started laughing hysterically. Dude, you should sue your doctor, he answered between giggles. This time the two of us were laughing so much we couldn't stop, even after Mr. Roach came over and made us both switch chairs with kids next to us. Do you think Jack is a good friend to August, or do you think he's a bad friend? I want you to turn and talk to the person next to you and explain. Say, I think Jack is a good friend because, and see if you can use some text evidence. What in the book tells you that Jack is a good friend? Or maybe you don't think Jack is a good friend. Tell your neighbor why you think Jack is a bad friend. Say, I think Jack is a bad friend because, and then see if you can find a sentence that supports what you think. I'll give you about 40 seconds to do this. Go ahead. About 10 more seconds. You ready? All right. I think Jack is a pretty good friend to August because he can joke around with August and is very honest. I like how he shares how he feels because I remember when August said, I wish kids would just come up and tell me or come up and look at me and not be afraid and, try not to talk about his face. And I like that Jack actually did talk about August's face and even joked about it with him because I think sometimes when you joke about something you're embarrassed about, it can make it a little easier to deal with and accept. All right, I'm going to keep reading our last chapter together. Mr. Brown's October Precept. Remember that word precept? It was that kind of life mantra, a phrase that you could live by. Mr. Brown's precept for October was, Your deeds are your monuments. He told us this was written on the tombstone of some Egyptian guy that died thousands of years ago. Since we were just about to start studying ancient Egypt and history, Mr. Brown thought it was a good choice for a precept. Our homework assignment was to write a paragraph about what we thought the precept meant or how we felt about it. This is what I wrote. And remember what you wrote about the precept. This precept means that we should be remembered for the things we do. The things we do are the most important things of all. They are more important than what we say or what we look like. The things we do outlast our mortality. The things we do are like monuments that people build to honor heroes after they've died. They're like the pyramids that the Egyptians built to honor the pharaohs. Only instead of being made out of stone, they're made out of memories people have of you. That's why your deeds are like your monuments, built with memories instead of stone. What do you think August meant by his description? What do you think that he thinks the precept means? I want you to turn and talk to a partner right now and say, I think August meant, and explain what how you interpret August's writing. Go ahead, I'm going to give you about 1 minute to do this. Let's keep reading. That was a really short chapter. Now we're on to the next chapter called Apples. I'm going to let us read one more. My birthday is October 10th. We just had October. I like my birthday. 10:10. It would have been great if I'd been born at exactly 10:10 in the morning or at night, but I wasn't. I was born just after midnight, but I still think my birthday is cool. I usually have a little party at home, but this year I asked Mom if I could have a big bowling party. Mom was surprised, but happy. She asked me who I wanted to ask from my class, and I said everyone in my homeroom plus Summer. That's a lot of kids, Augie, said Mom. I have to invite everyone because I don't want anyone to get their feelings hurt if they find out other people are invited and they aren't, okay? Okay, Mom agreed. You even want to invite the what's the deal kid? Yeah, you can invite Julian, I answered. Geez, Mom, you should forget about that already. I know, you're right. A couple of weeks later, I asked Mom who was coming to my party. She said Jack Will, Summer, Reed Kingsley, both Maxes, and a couple of other kids said they were going to try to be there. Like who? Charlotte's mom said Charlotte had a dance recital earlier in the day, but she was going to try to come to your party if time allowed. And Tristan's mom said he might come after his soccer game. So that's it? I said. That's like 5 people. That's more than 5 people, Augie. I think a lot of people just had plans already. Mom answered. We were in the kitchen. She was cutting one of the apples we had just gotten at the farmer's market into teensy-weensy bites so I could eat it. What kind of plans? I asked. I don't know, Augie. We sent out the Evites kind of late. Like, what did they tell you, though? What were reasons they give? What reasons did they give? Everyone gave different reasons, Augie. She sounded a bit impatient. Really, sweetie, it shouldn't matter what the reasons were. People had plans, that's all. What did Julian give as his reason? I asked. You know, said Mom. His mom was the only person who didn't RSVP at all. She looked at me. I guess the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. I laughed because I thought she was making a joke, but then I realized she wasn't. What does that mean? I said. Never mind. Just go wash your hands so you can eat. My birthday party turned out to be much smaller than I thought it would be, but it was still great. Jack, Summer, Reed, Tristan, and both Maxes came from school, and Christopher came too, all the way from Bridgeport with his parents. And Uncle Ben came, and Aunt Kate and Uncle Poe drove in from Boston, though Tata and Papa were in Florida for the winter. It was fun because all the grown-ups ended up bowling in the lane next to ours, so it felt like there were a lot of people to celebrate my birthday. We're going to stop there. And our next chapter is Halloween. That's kind of cool because Halloween's coming up. All right, until next time.